Welcome back to the Last Week This Week podcast, episode 85. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zach Huber.
And this is the podcast where we talk about movie and TV topics from the last week and get them to you all this week. And as always, we have a very exciting review and a few exciting topics from DC, Marvel, other things.
Yeah, I mean, I could go into all the details of each, but we're basically going to break this podcast episode down into review, Marvel news, DC news, Avatar, and Star Wars. So that's the way that this episode is going. I'm not going into details, and there will be time codes if you want to jump around.
There's just a lot we have to talk about.
There's so much that's happened in the time span that we've been.
It's just been a week and a half, I think.
Has it only been a week and a half?
It's only been a week and a half.
Crazy,
insane.
Well, like we were saying, first thing that we want to talk about is the Daredevil Born Again review of the first two episodes that just came out on Disney Plus last night. I guess a little bit of background before we get into it. To anybody who is watching this show for the first time or kind of needs a refresher, Daredevil Born Again, a continuation of the Netflix Daredevil series / Defenders, and is also intertwined with the now current MCU. So we're not just, it's not just the Marvel, the Netflix stuff, and then the appearance in She-Hulk and the appearance in like Echo and Hawkeye never happened. We got all of it. It all
coexists.
It's all in there. Surprisingly, I guess
She-Hulk hasn't been canonized. I'll say that. But
at this point,
everything else has been. So,
but
yeah.
Well, actually, it has. But I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
Okay.
So it was a long road to get here. I think it's been 6.5 years since Daredevil season 3 came out.
Yeah, something like that. 6.5, 7.
And I was very excited to watch it last night.
So was I.
I think Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, Lisa Ann Wool as Karen Page, Eldon Hansen as Foggy, and then most notably, maybe not most notably, but very notably, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. I mean,
but then you also got Wilson Bethel as Bullseye. Yeah,
right. But like to me, like, you know, those four are like the reason that I'm invested.
Agreed.
You know, there was a lot of speculation about what we were going to see. Very happy to see that, you know, we're getting these long episode lengths. At least for these first 2 episodes.
Hour 1 minute for the first one. I don't think Disney Plus has ever had an episode that long for one of their shows.
I don't think they have, and it was very pleasant to see. And just like, you know, first reactions before going into all the details.
Right.
My reaction is I thought it was really solid. A lot of great stuff in there. A lot of stuff I enjoyed. I do have a few, I guess, nitpicks here and there. So, like, you know, it's not by any means do I think that this is like worse than any of the Netflix stuff that had come before it, nor do I think that it's better or one of the best MCU shows that they've put out at this time, which is also way too soon to tell. So, like, anybody who's like, you're saying this is the best MCU project, maybe they genuinely believe that. But it's, at least for me, it's a little too soon to tell. But for the most part, some really great action.
Sure, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Some really good build up with the kind of intertwining storylines of the characters. I kind of like the. I guess it's not too much of a spoiler per se to say that Wilson Fisk is now trying to be a good guy and uphold the system and
on the surface
be a part of the system as mayor of New York. And then Matt is
trying to be a lawyer,
trying to just be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And there's now kind of two intertwining, at least with the court case that comes up in it, which I won't go into details, is going to be like a very particular like boiling point, I think, between the two of them. Like
no doubt.
that whole court case is just like bound to just blow up in a really explosive way. So, I think some pretty good action, some really good setup, some pretty good dialogue and interactions between characters, especially like at the diner. So yeah, I generally pretty positive. What did you think about it?
I think I'm feeling pretty different.
Okay.
I came away from those 2 episodes actually angry last night. I
Angry.
did. Yeah. So in context, I just finished season 3 the day before this came out.
Okay.
So I'm like,
is that close?
it was that close, dude. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So I beat the odds and won the bet.
We have a bet for anybody who's tuning in that if he did not watch all of Daredevil, at least seasons 2 and 3 before this premiere, he was gonna have to watch Les Miserables or Les Mis, and and if he did, I have to watch Blues Brothers.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun ride for you, I think. Yeah. But yeah, back to the show. So I think maybe I'm coming in more critical because like I have the original show so fresh in my mind, right? But like I think, and without spoilers so far, I think there's like major things they did with, I'll say the main 3 of Matt, Foggy, and Karen that I just didn't like. Just every like major, well, not every, but like the major decisions that each character kind of went through, like I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it speaks to the character, and I'll elaborate that in when we get farther in. But regardless of that, I think the action, like it was good. Like there were some really good moments in that first action scene with, I guess I won't say the name. But you could really tell that they were like enhancing some of it with CGI. Like his movements were way more acrobatic and fast paced. And I wouldn't even mind if they were using it for like his swinging, like with the grappling hook, like that makes sense. Like use CGI for that. But like, I am more of a fan of the more grounded style combat than him like being this almost like a metahuman in a sense. Like that's not almost how a human moves.
Right. Yeah.
Even though it looks cool at points, it's just, I don't know. I'm not in love with it. It's going to take some time to get used to.
I strangely, I think that what you're talking about is probably due to the reshoots, and I would also say that because of the way that scene was shot and depending on their finances, and I might be wrong about this, but because they're using all that like artificial CGI smoke in that scene, I'm kind of curious if they had to create a CGI character.
Could be
because maybe they were having a hard time adding like the smoke with the live action. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was like right.
That was one of the, other than like for stylistic choices, I was like, that's the only other reason. Because besides that, like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I didn't really love. There's as much as I did enjoy that opening scene, I did not enjoy the CGI, and that's probably one of the nitpicks I have is the CGI, which like I was choosing to not let it like take me out of it because I was like, it's CGI, like it's not terrible, it's just like it's fine, but I wasn't in love with it, and so that was it, and maybe like the way they filmed it was a bit like it felt like I was on like a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I can't explain it either, but like there's there's something in like the production that it feels just different than like the Netflix show. Like there's I don't know, like almost like it's shot differently, but I can't like point my finger as to like what's shot differently about it.
I mean,
You know,
the opening feels very differently shot, but to me, the rest of the show looks impeccably well shot. Like I love,
yeah, sure, it looks pretty close.
I think it looks really great. Like I think I guess we could go to spoilers.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, it's just harder not to.
So
right?
Spoilers.
Spoiler, warning. Yeah,
but like after the opening, which we can talk about in detail.
Yeah,
when it cuts to with the new opening, which like look nothing's probably going to beat that opening Daredevil intro, from the Netflix show. Like that's great, but I really do. I like the new one. It's good.
It reminds me a little bit of Game of Thrones with like the chorus vocals, like I think that and like it's a little, and like I don't know, the way it's sung is a little similar, but like I think there's a lot of symbolization there that's kind of cool with the visuals. So yeah, I'm down for that.
But and so like it was cool. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty neat. But after that, when it cuts to like seeing Matt in the morning drinking coffee, like I was like, this looks 10 times better for some reason to me.
Yeah,
like the way that it's shot. And just from then on forward, I was like, oh, everything looks pretty good. And so I'll just be curious to know, like, that opening scene, like, was it
I just think
due to reshoots and stuff? Like, I don't know.
It's, to me, the action is similar to what I saw on She-Hulk, like his acrobatic kind of movements. And I think I don't know, in my mind, it almost feels like a purposeful decision for them to like go that route with the CGI.
Yeah, I mean, it might be it got noticeably better once they busted down the doors.
Oh, at the end of the second episode.
No.
Oh.
When, but true. Okay. But like in that opening scene where they fall through the back room, where all the other people were hiding, and then they start going up the stairs.
Yeah, the stairs were great. That was a great part. Yeah.
See, that was all great.
Right.
And then by the time they're on the rooftop, like besides him like swinging up there, and that was noticeably CGI, which like I don't mind that actually.
Sure. Yeah.
That was all great too. So it was really just the smoke filled like diner area or bar area that I was like about.
Yeah. So now that we're into spoilers,
we can get into the big part of that whole.
I did kind of hate them killing Foggy. I
respect it. I respect it though.
Fuck, dude. It's just he is such an important character for this show. Like he is the heart of this show, no doubt. He is what brings Matt back around in season 3 to go and try and do the law and instead of killing Wilson Fisk. And I don't. And sure, maybe you could say that Matt has learned all his lessons from Foggy, but like, damn, dude, like you said it at the start of this segment. It was just that he is one of the most 4 important characters of the show. And then what happens after that? I think that's even worse. Is that Karen decides to just like leave New York and abandon Matt. Like, to me, I mean, and that was so much of season 3's like theme, was just like everyone has abandoned Matt in his life. And now Foggy and Karen have made it their choice that they will never abandon Matt again. And they fought like to keep him in their lives. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're just going to have her be like, you didn't talk to me for a few weeks after Foggy died. I'm going to go and not talk to you again. Well, I'm just like, what? Well, are you kidding me? It just doesn't make sense for her character whatsoever.
I see, the way that I see it is, first of all, the way, and this goes into the way that they wrote it. It seems to me that the way that they wrote this show, they did not need to have either one of those characters in it to begin with. So they were just an added addition, because this story seems largely to be what it's shaping up to be with these new-ish characters surrounding that. But what I wanted to say regarding Karen is, similar to like if a couple like loses a kid and they had a very happy marriage and then the kid dies and the marriage just ends up falling apart, not because they hate each other or that they blame each other. It's just like too painful to keep going. I'm not saying that because it could have gone either way. It could have gone either way, but it didn't bother me the way that I guess it's bothering you, because to me, I'm like, it was so important. Like Foggy's death was so traumatic. It's there's so much pain involved. Now, to some extent, you could say that brings it could bring Matt and Karen closer together, but he's obviously like wanting to keep it together. But
because that's like she's the closest person in his life. I mean,
I'm not saying that but it doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't bother me because I'm like, okay, like she just could not, like, especially on top of like, I don't know, just everything that's gone on in her life. I'm like, yeah, maybe she needs like a fucking break from the city,
Yeah, but not a break from Matt. I don't know. I think that's where you cross a line, unfortunately. The other crossing of the line from Froggy's death is that Matt just like immediately decides to kill Bullseye. I mean, even if he didn't kill Bullseye, he meant to. Like, no doubt in my mind he did. Which is like, again, such a major theme from season 3, where he wants to kill Kingpin. And by the end, he's like, I'm not going to let you destroy me by making me kill you. Like, that is not what you are going to do. And I've won here today because of that. And now, and that was really in the aftermath of him losing Elektra and Stick. Like, he was grieving, all from that. And like, I don't know. To me, like, yes, Foggy dying is probably the worst thing to ever happen in his life next to Elektra dying. But like, I hate how quickly they were like, okay, Matt's a killer now. Like, it's just like everything we worked for in the original show is just like, let's just strip that. Let's just strip that of Daredevil. He's a killer. And at the end of the second episode, he kills again a random guy, like a random cop or like whatever you want to call him.
I don't think he's dead.
I'm sorry. The slam of his neck on the ground, that's a snapping of the neck kill. Like, there's no way that guy is alive after that episode.
I still don't think he's dead. I'm
sorry. Matt being this way now, like more brutal than he should be. It's not for me either. I'm not loving that.
So I guess like, if you just witness your best friend die and and Foggy basically was like, I guess I just didn't want to give you a reason to like, I guess he was alluding to like getting back into the suit because maybe he hadn't done it in a while.
I don't know.
Or maybe he kept doing Daredevil. I'm not entirely sure.
That was my impression, that he kept doing it.
But if you just witness your friend die and then,
I get it. For normal people, I get it. But Matt is not a normal person, and he's been through just as bad, Yeah,
but this is also coming from like the same dude who like, masqueraded as him and was traumatizing him all throughout season 3.
Yeah. Sure. He's done a lot to Matt, but I don't know. It's still a line I wish they didn't cross.
I don't know. It didn't feel maybe it's because I haven't seen the original show in a while and it's so fresh in your mind. But to me, it didn't feel. It was shocking for sure.
No doubt. I mean, my mouth dropped. I was like, what? Excuse me?
It was shocking. I guess, I don't know. It didn't. I was just like, yeah, like I would be devastated too. And I'd want to like hurt that person too. And like, yeah, like it's all to get to this place where it's like, okay, I had to hang it up. I crossed the, right. I almost crossed the line. I don't want to ever get to that place again. Which, like, to me, even after he does it, he in the courtroom, he's come to the fact of, like, justice isn't going to happen. Like, that he wishes that Bullseye was dead. But he could be well in his power to just kill him, go into the prison and kill him himself if he wanted to. But he's like, no, I'm leaving it to the system. And so to me, it was like, it did really seem like just a split moment, like, mistake of his. And luckily, Bullseye has that metal, vertebrae now. So I guess that helped him survive the fall. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess. Even though he landed on his, like, stomach.
I was like, that's pretty comic booky that he's alive. But
yeah, no doubt. No, but I don't know. My argument to that would just be that, at least in my opinion, it seemed like he tried to kill, at least tried to kill that guy at the end of episode 2 when he broke in. But I
mean, look, he's being hospitalized. I'll say that. Both those guys are being hospitalized.
That guy, if he's not dead, he's paralyzed for life. I mean, there's no way it's not one of the others. I mean, shit. No, but, like, there are good additions to the show. I just think what happened, my theory is what happened is that they had filmed a lot of the original story, right? But everyone's like, well, we want the original Vanessa and Foggy and Karen. And so they're like, okay, we'll bring them back, but, like, not have them be a major part of maybe, like, the first half of the season, or a major part until, like, season 2.
Right.
Because, like, from what I remember hearing was that, like, the original show had Foggy dying, like, before the show happened. So people weren't going to see it, but that was still going to be, like, a catalyst for Matt. So unfortunately, I don't think the show got reworked enough, at least for me. But, like, there are good, like, new characters to this story. Like, I like BB Urich a lot. I think, like, her segments are really, like, fresh and nice for Daredevil.
Yeah. I some people didn't like those. I really enjoyed. That's funny. Those segments.
And I really enjoyed her sit down with Fisk, like, and realizing that it's Ben Urich's, like, niece, and that Kingpin is just standing across from, like, the man, or the niece of the man he murdered, like, a decade ago. It's just that's chilling stuff for sure, which I really enjoyed. And then like, I really like Daniel, his new, like, political aide. I think he's a good addition. Like,
Michael Gandolfini.
Yeah, he's pretty great in this. And then I also do kind of like the woman that Matt's dating, the therapist.
Yeah, I like her. I don't think I'm
not crazy about her
for long.
No, but I think they're charming together. I think, unfortunately, like, some of the best stuff in Daredevil, like, for Matt relationship wise, was Karen. And I really wanted that. I really were hoping they were going to resume their relationship after season 3. I understand why they might not, but, like, I also hated that they had, I don't know if you caught that in the beginning, but they had this rule of, like, oh, friends rule, we can't. Right. And I was like, what? It's like the same shit they did in The Boys at the beginning with, like, Kimiko and Frenchie. It's just like, why are we making these, like, invisible barriers for no fucking reason? It's just, I don't know. I don't need that at all. I'd like them to hopefully get together at some point, but fine.
Yeah,
whatever.
I think that'll happen.
I hope so. I do. But, like, I was really excited to see Vanessa come back, but then, like, Vanessa's now, like, not really in love with Kingpin, and, like, they're going through counseling, and I'm like, I don't care about any of that shit. Like, I just want to see them be a power couple. I'm like, why do I want to, like, follow Vanessa fall out of love with Fisk? Like, I don't know.
I mean, but they set it up why it would be like that. Like, he was away for, like, months.
For months. I mean,
4 months.
She was away from him for 2 years while he was in prison. I mean, what?
I don't think it was, like, no contact.
It was no contact. They couldn't see each other for 2 fucking years.
Okay, but it wasn't like a voluntary, like, he went away on his own volition and didn't talk to her
And
at
he
all.
explained why he did.
Bro, I'm telling you, you if you get married
All I'm saying
and
is
you
this isn't a
leave your
normal
wife,
fucking world,
I
Zach.
don't, but
He
it
got
is
fucked up by
that's
somebody who messed with his mind and his body. I mean, like,
but you don't, look, I'm saying you would have some relationship issues to resolve. I'm not saying, look, I'm saying if you don't dig it, like, that's totally
I'm
fair.
just saying in the
It's not,
matter of
it's not like,
months.
it's not like my favorite thing either.
Yeah.
But dude, shit can happen in like a week to cause like a relationship to break down. Like, it doesn't.
All I'm saying is that that's a couple who I thought was rock solid as long as they were like honest and open with each other. And now it feels like she only cared about him when he felt powerful. And now that she sees him in this different light, she's like, yeah, I've fallen out of love with you and I'm sleeping with this guy named Adam. And I'm like, okay.
I don't think she's fallen out of love. I think he went away. This is the
Yeah.
first time that she's seen him since he's come back, and she's in charge of the organization. She's feeling like power. She's obviously had to change emotionally due to him not being there anymore. And so now they're I don't know. To me, there's drama, there's room for interpersonal, like, there's room for like saucy kind of like situations to arise because of this.
I do hope it goes somewhere interesting. But like as of right now, I'm not digging it. Yeah.
Is Adam gonna make it? I don't think so. I think Adam's not long for the world.
Well, but if Wilson is saying he's not that person anymore to Vanessa, I feel like I should believe him. But maybe he's a different man now. Like he's truly saying.
I think he might die.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think that she might go, I kind of hoped you were gonna kill him. Or something like that. You know, she's like, I kind of dig that you're, I don't know.
Right,
maybe she won't. I don't know.
No, but I do like that, like, there's consequences from Echo. I think that's kind of like, it's nice that they're really like making that a thing.
Yeah, like, I tried mentoring somebody.
Did she try to shoot you?
Younger generation, you know, it was great. It was a good line.
That scene like that you're speaking of where they meet in the diner, I really do like that. Like, I like that Matt straight up is like, I just want to check you out because I can tell if you're lying or not. It seems like you're telling the truth. I believe in, and rehabilitating yourself, and that seems like what you've done. What I don't love is that we didn't really get to see any of the campaign that got Wilson Fisk to mayor. Like, we were at mayor at the end of episode 1, and I thought we were going to take a while to get there.
I mean, I don't know. Could it have been cool? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It absolutely could have been like interesting and cool. But the way that they handled it, and also considering like recent, world events.
No,
and
sure, yeah.
It's like how did this strong kind of like criminal dude get the people of a country or city to like get really behind him and like have this like populist argument or like notion of like, New York's gonna be great.
Well, that's the thing, is like, you can put the puzzle pieces that are missing like into that and kind of like, fill in the gaps, right? But like, there's one major gap that they didn't address, and I was really hoping they would, which was that at the end of season 3, he goes to prison for a second time. How did he get out? What was like, what happened there? Are we just supposed to be like, he worked the system again and he got out? No big deal.
I think I was watching like a breakdown of the past, like like a recap of all the Daredevil seasons, and I think there was some sort of deal
I mean, there
made.
couldn't have been, because this happens like at the very, very end of the last episode where he goes back to prison.
I think I'm talking
So it would have had to
about
have been another show.
like in Hawkeye or something. I'm not entirely
Okay.
sure. So I don't
Okay.
look. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is where
I just
we're
wish
at.
I wish they would have explained it, because it's like, you've been to prison twice now. You're on record killing a lot of people. How are you mayor? You know, like, this is wild.
It is wild, but is it completely
it's cool.
inconceivable?
It's not inconceivable, and it's cool, but I wish there was some more explaining going on.
Now, regarding him being on the campaign trail, what were we gonna do? Like, just Matt be like, "Can you believe this?" for like 2-3 episodes? You know,
I think it could be him, like, steadily manipulating and working the system, and Matt realizing that he's not playing this campaign fair, and him trying to be like, all right, well, I gotta go back and be Daredevil. I don't know. I don't think that's a crazy possibility for that to have happened. But I get it. I think you're in a cooler spot where you can be like, Fisk is running everything, and let's just see what happens.
Right. Yes. That's kind of how I feel. Yeah.
Fine. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like there's been so much we've talked about, and like most of this shit happened in episode 1. Like, the pacing is crazy fast in this season compared to like the last 3 seasons where we were with Daredevil.
Which I'm not. I'm kind of digging, because as much as I love those Daredevil seasons, there was at times a lot of filler, and it was good filler. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that there was a lot of like taking a while to get to the next thing, to get to the next thing, to get to the next thing.
But I think it was all purposeful. It wasn't like shitty filler.
I'm not saying it was. Look, I'm not saying it was bad, but we're like really jumping into these like exciting things quickly, I'm personally like, this is I don't know. I find it exciting. But yeah, we end the first episode. Like, Fisk is married. Daredevil's like, can you believe this? And
he's really not shy about hiding his hearing, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
remember, I have good ears.
He's got it's a blind thing.
It's a blind thing. I was like, all right, dude.
But then we get to the second episode, where we have who we later find out to be White Tiger.
White Tiger's a cool addition. Yeah.
Well, we get him interrupting these cops who are like beating on a guy.
Yeah.
And it results in that cop, tripping and falling into a oncoming train. By the way, this show resulted in 4 gasps from my girlfriend, that being one of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And kind of setting off what is definitely going to be probably the main core side of like story going on.
And I really liked season 2 where he was representing Punisher. Like, I think him representing vigilantes is always going to be cool. It's why he was at Spider-Man's apartment in Spider-Man 3. And I don't know. I think him fighting for his own rights, in a sense, is very compelling. So I'm down to see that.
And I think it's like I said, I think it's gonna result in some. Of course, you're gonna have Fisk kind of. You hear in the background, like, Fisk is closely keeping an eye on that court this trial.
Yeah, well, I mean, and one of his big campaign
no
promises
vigilantes.
Right.
But we're not going to know that he is a vigilante, because that's being omitted from the
Here's
court.
The thing, but Kingpin knows. Like, he knows that that's White Tiger, I think, because I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious. Maybe I'm wrong, but is that Wilson set up that encounter in the subway? He had him basically frame those cops to reveal their identities after he had attacked, and now he's trying to basically bury White Tiger in prison so he can't be a vigilante anymore.
That supposes that like they were like, okay, we White Tiger's down here, like, you know, go start beating up on him now, or like I don't know, it like that didn't feel like a planned encounter, I guess.
Yeah, I just think like Wilson is the most calculating like villain almost.
But
of
it's
all
like, why
time.
would he give a shit about, you know, White Tiger?
Because I mean didn't he name White Tiger and Punisher and Spider-Man all in like the same breath? Like he wants all vigilantes gone, you know?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
so I don't know. Maybe that's just a theory, I guess.
but I think
we'll
you
see
know
where that goes.
Having like the city, the cops versus like a guy, while also being represented by Matt Murdock. Like I just think if that information about him being White Tiger, or if the information that Matt's Daredevil gets out during that hearing, it's just going to be, you know, a huge explosion. And also like White Tiger being like, so you got upset at me when I didn't say who I was, but you didn't tell me that you're fucking Daredevil, which may or may not come up. Also, one nitpick regarding that whole like, this is, you know, we don't need to reveal his identity. Little conversation he was having. Everything felt so grounded up until
the amulet. He didn't even have his mystical amulet on.
He didn't have his magical amulet on, so his powers weren't heightened.
Yeah. But I kind of love that in a sense, because it's like it really is like combining the MCU and like the Daredevil series and kind of being like, all right, let's throw in like a stupid little like comic book thing.
I looked past it. It was just like, his magical amulet, like it was just like, it was like, did you hear what you just said?
But so I think my last like nitpick, if you can call it, I mean, it's just something I maybe would have preferred, but I mean, I really couldn't give a shit about McDuffie. Like, there's nothing I care about that character for.
Who's McDuffie?
His lawyer friend that he started his business with, his new practice. Murdock and McDuffie.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's how much of an important character she is. And
she's fine. She's fine.
Yeah, but like
I like his like private investigator guy a little bit.
No, yeah, he's cool. But I think what would have hit like a lot harder, and I know she wasn't like anybody's favorite character, but like Foggy wanted to marry Marcy by the end of like Daredevil, and she's just like not around anymore. I don't know if you remember Marcy, but she was in all 3 seasons, and she was like a lawyer at a high, profile practice.
Oh, I think,
and she always kind of helped. And then they were dating in the last season.
Maybe she'll show up,
but she's like not as a as somebody who was in a relationship like at the time of death with Foggy, because he was hitting on McDuffie that night. So like, I think what would have been better is if they actually got married, like he, which would have like made his death even more tragic because he's leaving behind a wife. And then you have like, Matt start a practice with Marcy, and those two become a duo instead of this random person that we get introduced to like 5 minutes into the season. That would be my preference.
It's a good. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. It's too late. They should have hit you up.
They should have hit me up. Yeah. But yeah, overall, go on.
Well, overall, like, really enjoyed both episodes. Like you had mentioned, like I like the shakedown of the police commissioner. I like the reference to Geno's and Pat's. Philadelphia cheesesteaks. I like the confrontation at the funeral. I like the getting out and we're gonna fix that hole. Fix is gonna fix that hole. And
feels very current climate, right?
Sure. But like I enjoyed it. I wasn't crazy. Like I didn't the following like hearing like following that cop who eventually like is gonna go break down the doors. I was like, how do you know like to follow this undercover cop? Like
Yeah, that's a good question.
I was like all of a sudden we were just like, he was outside the police department, I believe, and he was just focusing on that guy's footsteps. And I was like, I mean, okay,
I guess,
like, but like at no point did I see or hear anything to
make you believe that this guy's
assume
a suspicious person, right?
And I was like, how does Matt know that he's a suspicious person? But
you can just feel in his heartbeat.
We're just going
like,
with it.
He's suspicious. I gotta follow him.
Maybe I missed something.
Yeah, maybe I missed it too. I don't
know. And I also think that teenager who shows up at the therapist's book signing, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think that teenager's going to be Muse.
Totally agree. Yeah. That's why I don't think that therapist is going to last long.
No. And he does make a pretty good mural of Kingpin, though. That was a pretty good mural. I liked it.
Oh, was that him?
It was like Kingpin's face. He was taking off a mask of his face, but it was just Kingpin's face.
I didn't even realize that was the same character. That's funny. I guess I missed that.
Yeah, he was like at the beginning of episode 1, you hear a bunch of colorful murals are popping up all across the city.
Ah, okay, cool. I like that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think I had a much different reaction than you. I'm hoping, like, what I'm hearing is that the second half of the season, like, really is really strong, really brings it home. So I'm hoping that's what happens.
Oh, but and what do you think about those cops with the Punisher tattoo?
I think that's interesting. There's clearly like a group within the NYPD who's okay with killing people and okay with what Punisher's doing. So
and are okay with taking the Punisher symbol and using it for whatever they think it.
Yeah,
a little
justifies their own means,
kind of like in the real life where you have a bunch of people using the Punisher symbol. For and co-opting it for their own.
For sure.
Whatever.
For sure. But
it'll be interesting if they touch on that. I'd be like,
they will.
It depends. By the way, there was like a conversation at the bar before Bullseye popped in where it was like when it was like the cop or the guy who like works with as the private investigator with Matt now, and it was him and like I guess because he was going to retire, and it was him and like I guess somebody else from the police force, and they were like, when we try to do the right thing, like we get sued, and
these guys get cheered, right?
But these guys get cheered, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. If you do the wrong thing as a police officer, you should probably get sued and be like, held accountable. Like whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. No, but I do think that's an interesting little like tidbit they're throwing in is that like a lot of like in that same scene they were like, or maybe it was right before they got to the bar. Like Karen mentioned that like 30% of cops in like the last few years have retired. So it's like a lot of new blood in the police force.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that like new cops could be radicalized. Maybe that's what's happening with like Fisk or maybe with the Punisher. Yeah, we'll see as it goes down the line.
I mean, it does seem like they're drawing a lot of like I'm kind of I didn't realize how much of the NYPD they were gonna like make a part of this series. But like you even have like Wilson Fisk like mentioning Tammany Hall, and I was like, these guys are doing their research. So I'm just okay, like we'll see like where they're going with this.
Yeah.
But if these first 2 episodes, if I had to give it like a rating out of 1 out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 7.
Man, I don't want to be mean. Shit. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go like a
don't
4.5.
I knew you were gonna say a 4.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Because it's like
that's rough. Ian.
It's worse than mid for me,
Dang.
So I'm gonna go 4.5 at the moment. Yeah.
I thought it was solid. I didn't think it was like incredible, but I thought it was solid, you know?
Yeah. There was just a lot of directions they took I wasn't happy with. So
yeah, I hear you, bud.
Yeah. I hope my opinion goes up. I didn't expect, I mean, I was very excited going into it. I didn't expect myself to not be happy. So
well, it's also like, you know, going into like the Marvel side of the news that we're going to talk about, like,
which we can do right now if you want.
Well, yeah. So apparently, Eldon Hansen and Deborah Ann Wall are both going to return as their characters in Daredevil Born Again Season 2.
Yeah.
So, like, flashbacks.
Yeah, apparently people are saying there's like an arc in the comics where Foggy fakes his death. So I'm like, would Foggy actually, but like, would this iteration of Foggy actually fake his death on Matt? Like, I just don't think that would actually happen, you know? I think Foggy's dead for real.
Unless there's like flashbacks. A multiverse thing that happens.
Oh, I would roll my eyes so hard, dude.
But I don't think that's gonna happen.
There's no way.
Maybe it'll be an not astral projection, but you know, like maybe it'll be like a figment of his imagination, kind of the same way that
Season 3 happened, where he was talking to like Fisk and his dad, and like all just in his mind, you know.
Maybe that'll happen.
I would love that. I would really love that for the show, for Foggy to be like a voice of like reason and conscience, you know, for Matt.
It might be that.
I would love that so much. Okay. All right. I'm crossing my fingers.
I think there's from some of the comments that Deborah Ann Walls made, where she's saying, you know, if you like the Karen character, like there's going to be a lot to like about her going forward. I think,
and I think like
some big plans keeping her around.
I just think, like the initial part of this season, maybe the most this season is kept from like the old, like the original iteration. And so I don't think she's going to be around for at least like the first 4 episodes is my thought. I mean, maybe she'll show up later, but I know she's going to be a big part of season 2. So I'm curious how we get from here to there.
I wouldn't even be surprised if she shows up at the very end of the season.
God, that would piss me off.
Well, but it's like it was originally like planned to be like 18 episodes. So
yeah, and now it's 17.
But like it's broken up and it's into 2 seasons. So I'm like, maybe she shows up halfway through the story. You know, I don't know.
Right. Maybe. I hope her character gets some,
because there's no reason for her to come, because if we're, you know, episode 4 is only 2 episodes away. So it's like at this point in time is that he just saw her. Yeah. And she said, I don't want any contact. And you know, he's going deep into being Daredevil again, or at least getting close to it soon. I just don't see in just 2 episodes her having any reason to come back. So I'm saying, if she comes back and it's not the end of the season, it'll be like episode 8 or 7, or maybe 5, maybe 6, because like that's like a 2-parter. Apparently, like it comes out.
Well, 5 and 6 is a 2-parter, right?
Yeah, so maybe she shows up at the end of that, but that still seems a bit soon. So I say like something big happens, and she's like, I gotta come back.
I don't know.
Would have to happen.
It would. I just hate that she wouldn't come back from Matt. You know, whatever.
Well, maybe she would come back, but it's.
Maybe Matt's on his deathbed and she's like, oh shit, I gotta go back. Yeah.
Or maybe he just gets outed as Daredevil in front of everybody and she's like, oh shit, he's in trouble.
I think, it would have to be somebody who isn't Fisk, because I don't know if you remember, but like they have that deal where like if he gets outed or if he comes after Foggy and Karen, then like he'll go after Vanessa and kill her. So, yeah. I don't know.
He might just go, fuck it. There's no way you're getting Vanessa.
Oh,
I'll kill you first.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? But I am looking forward to those two being back. I hope they're in prominent roles for sure. But yeah, some other Marvel news that we got was that the Punisher, they're doing a Punisher special. Like they did a feature presentation or like a special presentation for Werewolf by Night, and they did one for the holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought they were done doing these specials though.
I thought so too. It seemed like they did two and they were like, we're good. And now like 4 years later, we're getting another special, which is really bizarre.
4 years later?
Yeah, because they came out in 2022, those two specials. And this one's going to come out in 2026.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Punisher special is going to be co-written by John Barenthal. It will be directed by Reynaldo Marcus Green, who did Beyond the City,
which I really want to watch.
Yeah, you've heard good things.
Well, I'm just very interested in it because do you know about that show?
No, nothing about it.
Well, John Bernthal is also in that show, and it's about the Baltimore Police Department and all of its corruption and cool stuff.
That's cool that he's working with a director that he knows.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're talking about like a story about corruption, and it's a guy who's like, it seems to at least have a lot of interest or experience in creating a show. It was an HBO show, so I can't imagine that it was bad.
Right.
Which maybe it was, but I mean I haven't seen that many HBO shows that I've been like, it wasn't that great.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting idea. I'm not against it. Like,
yeah,
the only thing is, I should watch The Punisher.
I've never seen it, the show.
But here's the thing. I've never really been somebody who, I think The Punisher is cool. He's a cool idea, right?
John Barenthal kills it as the Punisher.
But I've never really been. He's kind of like Two-Face. Like Two-Face has an amazing story when it comes down to like when he goes from the Harvey Dent to Two-Face and then does his like first kill, kind of like is this representation of corruption and like the hero falling and turning into the bad guy. But after that, like Two-Face kind of just turns into like a cartoon villain. Like there's not too much to him other than like, we're gonna flip a coin.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like Punisher, once he's avenged his family's killers, at that point I'm like, well, I guess he's going after like corrupt guys in general. But
but like, what's the story there?
He's just like, he's just kind of this like murderous, like Robin Hood type, or vigilante, like dark hero who kills corrupt dudes. So it's not, I'm not saying that there couldn't be a great story here. It's just typically I kind of get uninvested once his family's taken out of the equation. It's like, it's like if you took any of the Liam Neeson movies where like his daughter or somebody's held hostage or he's trying to avenge a death. And then it's like, okay, I avenged the death or I captured, like I got my daughter back. And then we watched a story about him just like helping another family out. It's like, it could be fine.
Right. But it's not nearly the emotional stakes that we had in the first one. Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think like at the end of season 2 of Daredevil, there was like some hint of like, there's more to the story there than you even realize, like, for Punisher, because like the blacksmith hints that like there was kind of like some larger thing at play, but Punisher kills him anyways. So they're like, well, and I haven't seen Punisher. Maybe that's what the show is about. But I mean,
I heard that I from what I'm aware of, I don't even think that they touch on that.
No way. Oh my gosh.
I could be wrong. But
yeah, I know. Like, I think I saw the first 2 episodes of that like original show for the Punisher, and like I think he's at a construction site for most of that season. Like he's working as a construction worker. I really don't remember what the hell's going on with Punisher, but like, yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, I'm not dying for this story. I think John Barathol really kills it in this role. And I think it's cool that like this is going to release apparently alongside season 2 of Daredevil. So, maybe, and I know like John Barathol is going to be a bigger part of like later this season. So maybe, yeah, this is going to really be important for the Daredevil series going forward. Maybe not.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
Because it's a special.
Yeah.
Like when like the holiday special had no
it's kind
real...
of important. Kind, just a little bit. It just kind of you don't really have to watch it.
No,
but like
it
establishes like their new home and like the new group dynamic, and
I could watch Guardians 3 and get it all there.
No, yeah, I get it.
And like Werewolf by Night. Maybe if Blade ever came out, like we'd get some sort of, but like there's no, if you watch Werewolf by Night, cool. If you don't, cool. Like I think if you watch Punisher, like I think it would be detrimental if you were like the Punisher specials must view, like, it's must see.
Yeah. But if it's like an hour long, then no big whoop, I guess. But yeah.
I think it would just be like a neat short story.
No. Yeah. And I think honestly that's what's perfect for Punisher, because like we don't really need a movie per se. At least I don't need a movie, but I don't necessarily think like John Barathol wants to do another show. So maybe like just like go this route and give us a cool story, a one-shot story. Yeah. But neat news regardless.
Yeah.
What's honestly really exciting, more exciting than that, is all of the concept art leaks that we got for, it seems like it's for Avengers Secret Wars. We were all assuming it was for Doomsday, but now it seems like they're for Secret Wars.
I mean, this is with like, if this concept art is real. I know it's come from like somebody.
It's like an official person who's like works.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
But I'm saying if this is, because it could be like the same way that like the Paramount or DreamWorks might have put out that Shrek release, and it's like, let's see how they feel about the design.
right.
But I'm just saying, it's not like Marvel's gone the official concept art.
No doubt. But I think, so if these are real, which I do think they are, and a grain of salt with this is that like not all concept art is like going to show up in the movie. Like there are plenty
or even the designs.
Sure, or even the designs, right? It's just kind of like a first idea of what they want, and they'll go from there. And so, but yeah, the 4 I remember, I know there's more than 4. One of the images was of Doctor Doom sitting on his throne, and a variant of Doctor Strange kind of standing next to him as an ally. You also had an image of Star-Lord and White Vision hanging on a couch, just hanging out as bros, which is like the weirdest pairing, but cool. And then you also had Star-Lord and Wong talking to the Young Avengers, which was very surprising as well. And then the 2 more I remember was that you had a look at Hulk, She-Hulk, and I think Hulkling, or I don't remember what his son's name is.
Scar.
But I think Scar. Yeah, there's Scar and there's Hulkling, right? There's 2 different characters. Those 3 looked like at their own Planet Hulk. Like they're
like
gonna do
Hulk
world, maybe.
Hulkdom.
yeah. I think it is called Planet Hulk, but yeah. And then the last one I remember is that there was just a concept art of like T'Challa as Black Panther back.
There was at least, I
know there's a few more. I just
one or 2 more. Well,
yeah.
The other one was like a kind of like white and black drawing of what you could potentially think is Molecule Man chained up and his powers kind of being used,
Really?
or being like tortured. And then the other one was just like a more close up look of like Doctor Doom. Well, a more close.
Oh yeah, I did
of
see
Dr. Doom.
the Dr. Doom one. That's right.
That the image that you're talking about, where it's him and Doctor Strange, and then you have the one person kneeling in front of him.
Yeah.
You also have a blonde-haired woman next to Doom, as well as like a kid, I believe. If we're going, by the way, him having Doctor Strange, like right next to him,
Yeah.
very comic accurate.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Very comic accurate. If the blonde-haired woman is Sue Storm, very comic accurate. Some people said Yelena. I think it would definitely be Sue Storm.
It would be Sue. Yeah, he wouldn't care about Yelena.
And if that is a child next to her,
then what? That's Reed's kid, or what?
And some of what I've seen of like the leaked Fantastic Four concept art that's come out, there might be a child involved in a movie coming out sooner than
it seems like. She might possibly be pregnant in that movie.
She might be.
She might be.
They might be hiding that with CG.
Which I'm down for. I want that family for Fantastic Four.
I want that pregnant belly, man.
No, I want the two kids.
Belly.
Man. I want them two kids.
No, but that might be Reed in front of like him.
Oh yeah,
kneeling
it didn't
down.
Look like Reed, but maybe it's just like a vague
it might
person.
Just be. It also might just be a random person. It might not be.
No, but what I think is cool is that like the aesthetic of these, you can tell that like they're possibly on this like on like one planet at points, like called like I'm assuming it's going to be Battle World. It sounds or it seems like the aesthetic of that planet is going to be somewhat like medieval, which seems super dope. I'm in love with that.
Yeah, I think it would be like kind of how I think it would show. Sorry, I think it would be representative of Latvia, like Doom's home country.
Okay.
So I think I would imagine that he'd probably draw inspiration from that. And I think that Hulk world that you're talking about, that's just going to be another like fiefdom
part of like
of Battle World.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think if they go that route, it would be extremely exciting,
right?
And it would rejuvenate interest in these stories. Because
I mean, the images alone rejuvenated interest in these stories.
Yeah, because it's so exciting, and you've not seen something like that, you know.
No.
And that is part of the appeal of Battle World. What's so interesting about it is the different. I mean, I don't want to go into spoilers, but that's what I've been really excited about is what they're going to make it look like, what they're going to do with it. And I mean, that Hulkdom or whatever you want to call it, that Hulk Kingdom, like, man, I would not mess with them.
No,
but
no.
And I, the same way that like Thor kind of like hanging out with, gosh, what's Taika Waititi's name in
what, Krog or
yeah, whatever his name is.
Yeah, something like that. Like the Rock guy.
Yeah.
Like,
like him getting, hanging out playing Fortnite, like something about, maybe Star-Lord is teaching Vision to, relax and enjoy things.
Enjoy the simple things in life.
And then Vision, on the other hand, is like helping him, like helping Star-Lord realize what his purpose is outside of the Guardians.
Yeah, look, I was so pleasantly surprised that he was in 2 of these images, Star-Lord. I was like, he's a major player. Like I genuinely didn't think he would have a big part, but I think it in a sense it does make sense because like the Guardians are one of their like flagship titles right now. Like they are always proven to have a good turnout at the box office. Everyone loves the stories. let's bring in the person we tease would return and make him a major character, even though he's not a powerful character, but he's a popular one. So
yeah,
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when they were talking about Star-Lord will return, if these images are true, it's like, yeah, he'll return.
I hope the new Guardians will return as well, and it'll be a cool reunion. But we'll see.
I wonder how much of the characters from the first, like from Doomsday, are gonna be a part of this, because it's possible that this is like a Wong, Star-Lord, White Vision, Hulk, new like Black
I do think
Panther.
It'll be structured in a way where like Secret Wars, maybe at least at the start, it'll be like Doomsday will be the movie that has like every fucking hero in it, and then like Secret Wars will focus on like more how do I say that? Like I guess like a smaller group of heroes, like Endgame did. You know how like Infinity War to Endgame was very similar. So
maybe it'll be like a small group of characters remember what happens at the end of Doomsday.
Right.
And they're going around collecting heroes to kind of change the circumstances.
That'd be cool. I'd love to see all the groups come together. You know, like I'd love to see, like I said, I'd love to see the new Guardians. I'd love to see the new Avengers, the Young Avengers, I should say. I'd love to see the Eternals pop back in. No, I like and
you'd love to see the Eternals pop back in.
I would, because they are a major plot point in like the new phases. Like yes, I'm not in love with that movie, but I've even argued with you that they should have done a sequel like already, and they fucked up. They fucked up big. So
if and also if this concept art is true, it further cements that we are definitely getting a new T'Challa.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, because that's T'Challa right there. I mean, which is exciting. I think he's an important character, obviously, and kind of deserves some more arc and runtime. So,
because I think before Chadwick passed away, like he was potentially going to be like leading.
Yeah, no, I mean they've even talked about that their plan before he passed away was that Spider-Man, him, and Captain Marvel were going to be their three big heroes for the Marvel universe. So
I feel so bad for Brie Larson, because it's like that character could be so cool.
Yeah,
and yet
they just don't know what to do with her.
Yeah.
Like they just don't have any direction. They're like, yeah, let's just put her out in space for forever, and then we'll bring her back.
I don't have any attachment to her.
No, not anymore. Like I really liked her first movie, to be honest, but since then it's been a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
But no, like these images look great. Got me insanely excited for Secret Wars, and I'm just dying to see what the Russos come up with.
If that's not Molecule Man, by the way, being held captive, it could be Sentry.
Oh yeah, okay, that'd be cool to bring him back so early.
Did you see the Sentry Funko Pop that came out?
I can't believe it was this early, dude. Like we called it, but like, damn,
from
this early?
Toy.
like we still got 2 months until the movie's out. Like.
It's pretty it's pretty accurate, comic accurate. I mean,
the MCU-ified it up, but sure, yeah. I mean,
to me,
had a bunch of lines everywhere.
I'm just kind of confused that it's, I'm just like, why the cape? Why? Like, like when I think of capes, I'm like, capes aren't a Marvel thing, Yeah,
I guess you're right. I mean, Thor's got one, but that's just because it's like a part of his uniform. Yeah. Damn. Is that really it for capes? Didn't Vision have a cape?
Well, okay. Vision.
I could probably think of a few more, but probably not. No, that is interesting. I wish we hadn't seen that Funko Pop, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
They put a bunch of lines everywhere. I mean,
look at the S. It's got it's like divided into 3 shapes. Like, what are we doing there?
I don't know. I'll wait. I'll wait to see it.
Yeah.
I'll wait to see it.
No, yeah, but very cool leaks. And people are saying that it's possible that Marvel wanted this to happen, wanted this person to post and to gain kind of a lot of traction and news when there wasn't really any excitement towards these new movies at this point. So I could buy it.
There's no excitement.
I think there is some, but it's not like what it was when we were building up to Thanos for Infinity War.
No, I mean, true. I would say that like I'm exponentially more excited at the idea of this than I was if I didn't see it. I think I'm bummed that people like you who have not read Secret Wars or even know how that happens or any of that stuff now is like, oh, what is this battle world? And like,
I had heard about it before.
Now it's like, can kind of deduce what's going to happen at the end of Doomsday,
Vaguely. I really don't have like a strong idea, but I can kind of, I get like where it's headed and what Doom is trying to do in a sense.
Okay.
Like, but barely. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I just want it to be a surprise, but
it will be. I think still. I just won't read the comics for the next 2 years. Okay.
I think I'm gonna reread it just so I can get a.
And here's the thing, like
recap.
The Russos are doing their own story. It's not going to be like a 1-to-1 of the comics. So.
Oh yeah, I know.
Right. So
there's no way that it. Yeah.
Right, we won't be fully spoiled regardless. But yeah, I think last thing Marvel we wanted to touch on was that Vin Diesel out of nowhere with all this news kind of came in
really
with
out of nowhere.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, Marvel wants to do a Groot movie. And they want to do Planet X. And his quote specifically is Disney wants their Planet X, which some say is Marvel's most anticipated movie. Haha. The film where Groot returns to his home planet. I don't know. That's a weird one to me. Like, there's clearly no room for a movie these days for a Groot movie. So it would have to be a show or a special. My thought is that nobody's going to care enough about a show about Groot, so this should be a special as well. I don't know. Would this be animated? And this is Vin Diesel too. Like, this could end up just never happening.
Yeah. I
kind of want this.
This is what I think. There is still to this day, like little baby Groots, Grootlings, Groot, whatever.
Yeah.
Everywhere. People freaking love Groot, ever since 2014.
Right.
And the idea of like, you put that face on a movie poster, people are probably going to go and turn out and watch it. Yeah. So if you make this, if you make this movie like, I don't know, I could see it being like, like a whole world of Groots and like in this weird world where there's all
here's the thing. Like it's hard to make him a main character because yeah, he has his own language, but he's just repeating the same line over and over and over again. Like, to me, it works better in a shortened special than like in a full-blown movie. Right?
I don't know, man. I just watched a whole, I just watched Flow recently, and that was a whole movie without any dialogue. And I, it was great.
Like, there's my thing too, is that I think if you do a movie like this, it should be animated, but because I don't think you should pour all your like resources into this like kind of one-off charming movie for Groot that doesn't really have like a ton of, I don't know, direction.
I don't know. Like when I do
get what you're saying.
I think there would be more than just like the Groot character, in terms of like language.
Yeah.
And maybe they would No, I don't think they would like actually be like translated for audiences, like, and then Vin Diesel starts talking normally as Groot, and it's not just I am Groot.
I mean, here's
But
the thing. Like at the end of Guardians 3, the reason we're able to understand him is because like James Gunn said that like the audience has spent enough time with Groot now to where like we understand what Groot's saying.
right, and maybe that happens, you know, like maybe. The other thing is like, Swiss Army Man, it's just Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe, and he just communicates through farts, and
that's amazing.
That's a whole movie that worked like pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird, but I think in terms of like, oh shit, we're about to sell so many like clothes and I kind of hate thinking that way, even though it is kind of immediately where my mind goes is like Disney wants to make this because it seems like everybody would love to see a Groot movie because everyone loves Groot.
Everyone loves Groot. Everyone loves the Guardians. Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It could be like sense. maybe they come up with a really cool like returning home movie. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe my thought is to do this with the original Groot and not the new Groot that we came to know. Like give the old one a story because we don't have any more stories with him. And I really like that original design too. Like I love the new design, but the old design's great.
But I think it would have to. Well,
just do a prequel. Just do it like before he met the Guardians and
yeah.
And just make it a Planet X story where he hasn't left Planet X yet.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of the best way.
That's my direction.
Yeah,
my thought at least.
No, I mean that's probably the best way to do it because otherwise,
you're breaking him off from the Guardians, and I mean Rocket would go with him regardless.
Would be there. But there could be some. I don't know. Maybe there's something cool going on there. I don't know.
Maybe. And here's the thing, like I kind of want this, but like James Gunn isn't attached, so it's like, we'll see how that goes. Like I feel like we all really trust him with those characters, and nobody else has touched them really except the Russos. So
right.
Maybe if the Russos do it, I'll be happy. But no, I think that's all our Marvel news. So now we're going to be talking about some DC news. There was so much that came out from, I think it was like a Peter Safran and James Gunn kind of interview where they laid out like
it was like
all
a
the updates.
Interview with the Hollywood Reporter.
Right. And so basically, let's see, they announced one that there are 3 new animated shows coming.
That was shocking.
Shocking.
I was not expecting that.
One is Starfire, which is a series that serves as an origin story for the character. The other is Superpowers, which is a series that follows new students, Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra, learning at a school headed by Principal Martian Manhunter. And then there's My Adventures with Green Lantern, which is in the same universe as My Adventures with Superman, but follows Jessica Cruz as her life is upended when a Green Lantern ring falls out of the sky. All really interesting, but also we got the confirmation from James Gunn that these are probably going to be Elseworlds projects, and that most animated shows going forward will be Elseworlds projects, which I was a little bummed about because like I really wanted the Starfire to be canon to the DCU that's coming, and it doesn't seem like it will be. But it's cool that like they're forming a little universe with My Adventures, like, I'm sure you were really excited about that.
I was like, okay, so is it gonna be, wait, it is in the same universe. Okay, perfect. Yep. Cause I was like, is it gonna be? And
I think one of the writers on the Superman show is working on the Green Lantern one.
I mean, I love that because My Adventures with Superman is like one of the best animated shows. I don't want to say I've ever seen, but it's at least one of the best animated shows out there currently.
Right. Like, I mean, I do need to watch it. I really did love what I watched. I just never got back to it. But like, do they ever hint at like a Green Lantern in the show, like that exists in the universe, or are they just kind of like going into another whole different direction with their corner?
Well, I mean, considering the scope of My Adventures with Superman, like it could easily pop up, but you could also easily just have this story happen in that same universe, and then there's little crossovers here and there.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about like of course, like they could show up because you literally have like the Kryptonians, like a Kryptonian from space coming to Earth.
Right. I guess I just wasn't sure if like there was any hint at it already. Like a Green Lantern show.
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
Cool.
I didn't have. It's been pretty like this is just Superman.
Yeah. Well, I know they kind of hinted at like Lex at one point, or
yeah, but that's still Superman.
Oh yeah, I thought they hinted at like a Batman character at one point.
They might have, but it's still pretty much just
Superman.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. But yeah, other than the animated,
real quick with the animated stuff, I was wondering if they were gonna be attached to the DCU because we just had Creature Commandos and there was talk about having the animated stuff translate over to live action,
right?
But so I'm really excited about my adventures with Green Lantern, and I'm really excited about Starfire.
Yeah.
The superpowers one,
that's a weird one.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
But it because it's weird, I'm like, must be good. It might be like, really good.
I'm down, but it's weird to like think of like Flash and like Plastic Man as like kids, like, and Martian Manhunter's the principal of a school. Like, I just don't like, where's that going? Like, what? I don't know. Maybe it could be good. It doesn't sound like a very serious show.
It's the one that's like lowest on my list of out of these two. But I do think like the artwork style of the Starfire logo like is leading into let me look it up again because it reminded me of like it's kind of got this I guess it's kind of got this Cartoon Network but kind of a I could easily see it being like having grown up like adult topics, but it's also going to be this very how to describe it?
You're reading a lot from a logo.
It's just I don't know. Like I dig it. Like it gives the vibe that it's like it's not going to be super serious, and it's going to be like it's going to have its own kind of unique art style.
Sure.
It like I get the feeling that it's not going to look like everything else.
I wonder if this will like. There's always the possibility that this could be tied to like the show that's currently out right now, Teen Titans Go. Since that's an incredibly popular show and it's an origin story, but I agree. I hope it isn't. I would like something new for that character. So yeah, no, I'm really excited about that one. Just wish it was canon to the DCU.
Yeah,
because they are making one of
the thing is that I kind of like this because it's like, oh, cool, we get to have all these stories that don't need to be beholden to like. It's kind of the same way that I was really enjoying the new Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. It's like they're not beholden to anything,
right? It's just a new story, a new world, right? No, I get that. I guess for me, it's just like the Teen Titans movie. That's one of the other things they announced is in the works. They're developing it, so I think it would be cool to like watch that show beforehand if you want to, and then a little bit about Starfire when you go into the movie.
Sure.
Sure. But you let them tell different stories. That's fine with me. But yeah, I mean that they confirmed the Teen Titans movie, which was new, like music to my ears. The writer for Supergirl, what's her name? It is Anna Noguera. Yeah. She wrote Supergirl and now she's developing the Teen Titans movie.
So obviously they really like what she's
Yeah.
been doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it was the second movie they greenlit, then yeah, I would assume they really like her script. Not a ton of thoughts since we don't have a release date or
Well,
any
I wouldn't say it's
concept.
greenlit, but it's in development.
You're right. It's not greenlit, but it is in development. I just hope they bring, the main 5 that everyone loves. Maybe Blue Beetle's thrown in there. Because
it would seem like the place to put him.
Feels like, even though he's not a teen, like if they don't make them teens, then yeah, sure.
You got to make them teens.
I agree. They should be teens. So unfortunately, he would not be the greatest of fits, but maybe this is I don't know, because again, this is a movie where Damian Wayne exists, right, in the DCU. Right. So what Robin is in the Teen Titans? I'm not really sure. Maybe it's not Jason Todd. Tim Drake is my thought.
I would love for it to be Tim Drake, but I get the feeling that it might be. It could be Damian.
I mean, that would be cool, and I would love it to be Nightwing is the overseer of the group, and he's trying to give Damian Wayne the leadership role.
Because I think I was funny enough, I was looking at the DC Instagram page, and they were which couple's better in the comics, and what's your
it was Dick and Starfire or Dick and Barbara. Was that it?
There was that, but then there was Damian and wasn't it? I think.
Who's Damian dated? I don't even know.
I thought it was. I'll look it up, but I thought maybe Damian had gotten with her. I don't know.
With Starfire?
I could be wrong. I'll go.
There's no way.
There's
no way she's banging 2 Robins. That's so wild. No, yeah, but maybe this comes out in the next few years. That would be splendid. Hopefully before their Avenger style culmination, which I guess we can get into as well. I guess you're not finding anything. Huh?
Oh no! It's just taking me a second. But keep talking, keep going.
Well, one of the things they announced is that they have this 6-year plan where they're going to be releasing 2 live action movies, 1 animated movie, 2 live action shows, and 2 animated series per year. Mm-hmm. And then by the end of that 6-year plan, they'll have this kind of Justice League, this big Justice League movie, or this big group culmination movie, right, that kind of combines a lot of the stories that we've seen in the first 6 years or whatever. So hopefully the Teen Titans movie releases before that culmination, and they can be kind of a part of that. But so yeah, what did you find?
Raven and Beast Boy.
Okay.
Or Raven and Damian Wayne.
Whoa, I didn't know those 2 got together. Yeah, no, Raven and Beast Boy all day. I'm sorry. Yeah, we can't. Nah, I'm sorry. Damian, get out of here, dude. Get out. You're not welcome.
There is precedent. There's precedent.
Yeah, maybe they'll do the little love triangle in the Teen Titans movie. It'd be very teen of them.
I think this is smart. I think don't get me wrong, I think just even doing 2 live action, I think it's insane that Marvel can used to be pumping out 3 a year.
Well, they did 4 in their first year, if you remember.
Marvel?
Yeah. WandaVision, then Falcon Winter Soldier, then Loki.
But
then
we're
Hawkeye.
talking about movies, so I'm talking about movies.
Oh, I thought you were saying series. My bad.
But I'm saying the fact that they were pumping out 3 movies. Yeah. I think the idea of 2 animated series
that aren't even possibly canon. They're just they're just going to put out an Elseworlds here or there.
Yeah. I think I still think it's a lot. Not, but it's also doesn't seem like it's all must see.
I think the live actions are probably must see,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so you have 2 live action movies and 2 live action series to watch a year, which is cool.
That also might not be true, because I think one of those live action movies might just be a Matt Reeves Batman.
Sure. Or like they're constantly talking about a Constantine 2 movie.
So I think they're just like literally like, as long as we have like two
movies coming out, we're good.
You know, like we're not gonna try to we're not going to try to just keep this one storyline going this entire time. We're going to let our creatives have as much, you know, we're going to let our creatives do what they want for the most part, and just let it all, you know, spill out and make really good, not content, but like really good material. And that's what I'm hoping is like, this will be, you know, like their big renaissance. Like, I already have been saying that I feel like DC Comics has been making some really great stuff. You know, Marvel's been making vampires and Venom Wars and reviving Gwen Stacy and making her like a Gwenpool. Like just stuff that I'm like, I don't know, fine. But it's still a lot. But it seems like, considering not all of it has to be connected, and we're getting all these, like, we're gonna make a Starfire animated show. Like maybe even like one of the shows is just like each year is just like a new season of that show or something. You know?
Yeah. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think I think maybe they're talking about new shows, because I think that would be a bummer to like get a season 2 of a show and like nothing new, you know?
But I'm just saying, like, it would be a lot.
It makes it a lot more doable for them, considering that they're on this like philosophy of, let's just make something when it's good, you know, like when we have a good script, we'll make it, you know?
Right.
And so I think that's harder to like, it's harder to stick to that plan when you're just going by like, let's put out good shit, you know?
Right.
But I think it's doable if you're saying, like you said, a general 2 animated shows, a general like 2 live action movies, not all connected. Yeah. It's a good plan for sure.
And like, and it does seem like they're really open to changing things. Like I think some people online were like, you know, getting upset that like Waller wasn't happening, or the Authority wasn't going as well as they had hoped, or
same
like
with Booster Gold,
and they were like, well, where's all this other stuff? We were told these things. And I'm like, you know, I feel like James and Peter being like very open. They're like, look, we're not putting out stuff until it's good. There's been some problems with these scripts. We don't feel as good about them. We're not going to put them out until we think that they're in a good place.
Yeah, I was surprised about that with Waller, to be honest. I thought James would have really been working on that one, considering how close it is to like Peacemaker.
But I don't know, like, but I appreciate it, and I think it makes it a little bit more exciting, other than like,
for sure.
You know, when it was still exciting to know what's coming, you know, when it came to Marvel. And I'm not saying like Marvel's on its fucking deathbed or whatever, but it's kind of like, oh, cool. I didn't know that was like, I didn't even know that was a possibility, and now we're getting it.
Right. Yeah, because they're not strictly sticking to their phase 1 plan. It's like, let's just make good movies.
And they're not like completely diverting away from it either.
No.
Because like with this, you do kind of go like, dang, I was really looking forward to that Booster Gold. You know?
I was looking forward to all 3 of those, to be honest.
Yeah, like I was looking forward to all of those. So it's kind of like, dang, okay. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, I didn't even know that there was an idea of a Clayface movie, and the fact that we're getting that, or a Teen Titans movie,
right? Or Sergeant Rock. I mean, you just got so many cool like ideas that we had no idea were even being.
Which I guess about. Daniel Craig is not going to be Sergeant Rock.
That bummed me out. That really fucking bummed me out. I'm not going to lie. But I'm sure we'll still get, you know, if the script is that great, I'm sure we'll still get a good movie with another great actor. So,
and also I think a 6-year plan is it's good.
Yeah, it's doable as hell.
It's kind of a bummer that like I'm gonna have to wait like a decade to see, like over a decade to see like just 2 possible Justice League movies, but okay. fine.
Yeah. No, I feel you, and hopefully maybe they start to pick up their pace a little bit, because there's characters that we obviously want to see that they're not even talking about. They have talked about Batman, but Wonder Woman has really been mentioned 0 times by Peter and James.
Yeah, there's been no talk of that Paradise Lost.
No, that too. Yeah, damn. What happened to Paradise Lost? Yeah, so there's a lot of characters people want to see. Some I'm sure people will be hurt that is left out of a phase 1 per se. So I don't know. Not that I'm asking them to pick up the pace, because I'm fine with this plan, but maybe they'll need to.
The biggest thing that we didn't even mention, though, maybe not the biggest thing, but a big thing was the first image of the Lantern show that's coming out on HBO.
Yeah, you get to see Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre. Yeah. They look great. They look like John and Hal, to be honest. And
like a young John.
John. For sure it's a young John. Yeah, but I don't know. There's something about his face. I'm like, I buy it.
I buy it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And same with a grade Hal. I buy that's Hal.
And a washed up Hal.
Yeah, for
not
sure.
A washed up, but I've seen some shit
at the end of his days of Green Lantern, right?
Yeah,
But no, you get to see the Green Lantern ring, and it looks pretty different from Guy Gardner's. So we'll see what the story is with different styled rings. But I know a lot of people were upset that we got just this shot in plain clothes, and I'm like, yo, they just started filming. What did you expect to see? And this is a true detective style show. This is exactly what's in line with that.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's more exciting to me that it's not them in suits, because first of all, if we were to get the suits,
well, we'll get them at some point that season.
Like you said, they just started shooting, but that means editing those, getting whatever kind of not only do they have to shoot them in the suits, color grade the shots, and then also add the CGI to it. Depending on the scene, but more than likely, have some amount of CGI in it.
Yeah, it's Green Lantern
already figured out before they release it to the public. I think this is just a quick way to generate some excitement.
Yeah, no doubt.
And also it makes it have that HBO into what they talked about. Not that I think the whole show is going to be grounded, because it's fucking
it's Space
Lanterns,
right? I mean,
but the fact that we're gonna see them in civilian clothes, and we're gonna have a detective sort of I guess buddy cop story of sorts. And just seeing them as people rather than the superhero typical sort of thing just makes me a little bit more makes me excited to be
it's a refreshing idea.
We're gonna get this newer cool idea that's not just a bunch of people in costumes flying around, which I love, but it's also nice to see something like this.
For sure. Yeah, I couldn't be more excited about it. Even though we don't really know much more than what they've released months ago, as the synopsis. But I think what we have here is that it'll explore who these guys are when they're on the job and when they're out of uniform. And it's designed to be accessible for huge Green Lantern fans, as well as somebody who doesn't know anything about the lore. So
as anything should be.
Right. So it's going to be exciting for us because we know the lore and we'll know.
We know. Maybe you know more. I know some stuff, but
I know some stuff. I'm not
I'm not going to be I'm the buck stuff. I know everything.
No. I read Green Lantern comics as a kid, but I haven't read them in a long time, so I haven't brushed up on my knowledge of that.
Yeah, I know Oa, I know that what is it, the Guardians or the whatever the purple big-headed guys.
Oh yeah.
Who protect the one big ring. You know, I know stuff like that.
But there's like different lore and different iterations too. So like
I know some of the different cores, you know,
right? Because they have like a core for each like spectrum of the light. It's it's interesting.
Which is like each corresponds with a different emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
Or different idea. Because I guess you
weakness too. Maybe
I guess you can't call like hope an emotion. Maybe you could.
You could kind of,
or like a feeling,
hopefulness.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but regardless, it's they can pull from a lot like while also like sticking to a grounded story, and I think you're gonna blend both of those things perfectly.
Yeah, hopefully.
But
it seems like nothing but great things.
Yeah. I mean, like, yes, we've only seen one piece of media from the new DCU, but like, so far so good. You know.
Yeah. How'd you like the Superman boots?
I wasn't even talking about that, but I did like the Superman boots. They look good. Did you not?
Well, I as a having a foot fetish, I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, you're just coming out as a foot fetisher guy now.
Man, I wanted those Kryptonian toes.
You want him to be bootless?
Wanted him to slide those sweaty, working man boots off.
Alrighty, all right. But yeah, I think that's it's a great way to end our DC segment of just talking about Superman's boots. Yeah. But yeah, one of our next topics here is Avatar: The Last Airbender. They dropped a lot about their sequel series called Avatar: Seven Havens. This is going to be obviously set after Legend of Korra. It's planned right now to have 2 seasons of 13 episodes each. And it's going to follow a young earthbending twins who, after a world-shattering disaster, one discovers that she's the Avatar, but in this world, it means that she's humanity's destroyer and not its savior. So, and then what the Seven Havens part of that name is it's apparently after this cataclysmic event where like it kind of changed the perception of the Avatar. The world kind of split into these.
Somebody.
He's totally. But the world splits into like there's 7 like strongholds across the world, and those are like the 7 havens, and those are like I guess where everyone is like living and
like residing. The rest of it's just like an apocalyptic hell.
That's kind of what it sounds like, right? And so, basically the concept is that they're trying to like save these 7 havens because I guess even those are like in jeopardy now. So, positives is that the creators of the original show are coming back. For me though, I wasn't a fan of Legend of Korra for the most part. I think like the problem is like, and I'm worried about this show too in a sense because like they announced these 2 seasons of 13 episodes each. But when Korra was announced, they announced it as a 1-season show, which was going to be, it was a one and done. But then they're like, no, let's do a 3, a 2, a 3, a 4. And like they had to add new stories every single season. And instead of like this one long arc, like over multiple seasons. And so I'm worried that if the show's popular enough, they'll just be like, yeah, let's just keep raking them out. Let's just keep going with this Avatar. But
or maybe they'll learn their lesson.
I hope so because those last 3 seasons are really polarizing in the Avatar community. I think I hate them, to be honest, but so like that's like they wrote the original show, which I think is one of like the all-time greatest shows out there, and then you have them also writing Legend of Korra. So like I love these 2 guys, Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. Like I think they can do a lot of great stuff. I'm just like a little cautious with this one. But yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts.
I mean, like I was telling you beforehand, I think the Legend of Korra initial premise had a lot of intrigue to it, and it had potential. That like to say like this new Avatar years and years into the future, where it's now an industrialized land. There's the different the different not tribes, but the different benders are all kind of like around each other all the time now. It's not so feudal. It was, and like this idea of like more like government jackbooted kind of, like I don't know what I would want to call those. What were the name of
like the metal benders or what?
The metal benders?
Like the police force of Republic City. Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
like you had like this sort of like crackdown on benders, I guess, sort of thing happening. So there is intrigue, but like it felt a bit more like going from Star Wars, where it's like this huge, like the original trilogy, where it's like this fun, faraway land where like all this crazy, like we're going on an adventure, like we're like hobbits or whatever, going like figuring this out and growing up, to this like more, not in a bad way, but it's like more closer to home.
Right, it's more structured, more realistic society. Right.
And it was like, like I wasn't as in love with it. Whereas this feels like Mad Max, like Book of Eli. Like we're going on this like this odyssey to save the world, and they're all in these disparate different groups, and they're
going to be hunted at the same time while trying to save the world. And
so it's a different kind of adventure.
No doubt, it's interesting. Like I'll give you that, but I think like where I'm feeling the opposite is that like Korra, the reason it was like that is because like they set up, like they wrote it so well after the end of Avatar. Like they explained fully, like Aang led this life of like trying to unite the nations and built this like the capital of the world, and like like so much progressed because they were out of the 100 Years' War, and so it's like society progressed to this point of like industrialization. And I think where I'm like a little cautious with this is that it's like what Korra set up is a very different world, where like the spirit world and the physical world are like kind of sharing the same space now. But there's almost no hint to like a cataclysmic event that will happen that like triggers like the Avatar to be like looked at as a destroyer instead of a savior, and like the world kind of going into these 7 havens instead of like a prosperous world. Like there's nothing from Korra that hints at that going to happen.
I mean, like I get, and I understand the hesitation with that, because it does give
it's like it's so drastic.
It's like such a like what like some, if you were to watch like the original trilogy, I don't know why I'm going back to Star Wars, but like if you go back to the original trilogy and then you go to episode 7, you're like, wait, I thought we saved the galaxy. When did this whole new
That's exactly what it is.
Pop up now? I guess in recent times, you kind of go, oh, I thought we beat all of the, like the bad guys. How did they just pop up again?
Right.
Well, it's happening. So anyways.
No, overall.
So like I understand the hesitation, because it could have the same effect of like we were talking about Daredevil earlier. It's like, wait, what the fuck? This was just happening. Like, we were in this place and we were kissing and you were gonna get married and you were, and now we're like here, and it's like it's not where we thought it was going to be. And it's like, we're just, so like, I understand it, but I'm just saying, I'm hopeful that the change, the drastic thing that happens gets explained.
Same. Yeah.
And, or if it is a mystery, it results in like an explanation that's satisfying and gratifying to go on with that journey. So I agree with you. Like if you, even though I did not watch the end of Legend of Korra, like the world is in this place, and then now we go to this show and it's like a completely different space. I can understand that. But I think it's, maybe maybe it's the same thing. Like, I'm just saying that if it could go 50-50, because like, 28 years later, like that movie coming out, it's like, of course, all this new stuff's going to pop up. These different factions are going to pop up.
Sure.
And it'll be explained throughout the movie how that occurred, as opposed to like going back to like literally 28 years from the first movie. It's going to be a drastically different world.
For sure.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like there is a gigantic time jump from like the end of Korra to like this show.
Right.
I mean, and there also was with Avatar to Korra. There was like a 70-year time jump, I think. But I think like what bums me out overall is that like Aang set up this like world that was so hopeful, so prosperous, so like, like there was so much progress being made because of like the changes that he enacted into the world. And like to see all that like brought, or I guess all that kind of fail and just like, the world's just back to like, a really rough spot and like it's about to end. And like there's these 7 strongholds. It's just like, it's a bummer to see in a sense, because like, I mean, if you love Aang in that show, then you're going to be attached to like everything he did. Like I am.
I think it's like, I think it just runs into the problem of, well, there's 2 ways of thinking about it. You either run into the problem of needing to have a antagonistic force driving the story,
right?
And some sort of dilemma. So it can't be a perfect and just world.
No, I get it, right?
If you're going to continue a story, which is the nature of continuing stories, is like, well, you got to do something. But it's also because I think there's something to be said about just keeping the one show and not doing anything with it. But then, you could make the argument that it's not really reflective of like how the time works, because it's not like, okay, we did the big thing, we did a big thing, and now like everything
the world's going to be perfect forever.
It's just that way forever. Like things are constantly changing.
Sure. Yeah.
So like it's just,
I guess,
is it an intriguing, good story? I guess you have to weigh.
It is intriguing. I guess my argument to that though is that like with Korra, like everything was really like going well in the world. But then they put in this conflict for Korra, which is like there is a mass amount of non-bending people who have a problem with benders and want the world to not have bending anymore, and so like that goes directly in conflict with the Avatar. And so like there is a conflict there without like destroying the world,
They dropped a nuke.
Yeah, a nuke on Republic City for sure. But yeah, I think that's our thoughts on Avatar. Lastly here, we wanted to talk about some Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars news. The CEO or creative director of Star Wars. It was heavily rumored that she would be retiring within a year, and that there were rumors of her replacement. She came out with a direct statement and said, basically, I'm not stepping down, at least not for a while, but within a year we'll probably have a succession plan that will release of somebody who's going to replace me. But at no point did she say that she was like directly retiring. So seems like it's coming somewhat soon, but not as soon as maybe some of us hoped.
It'll be soon.
Hopefully. But basically the candidates that I was hearing, I don't know if you heard any others, but the big one obviously is Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. We're hearing that could happen, but that maybe Disney will make sure that doesn't happen. I don't know. But then there's also Kevin Feige, who's a potential name, and then they also listed J.J. Abrams as a potential name.
God, no.
Which would be the worst case scenario, to be honest. But like apparently a source was saying that like they don't even believe he'd come back because of like how burnt he was on Star Wars by the end of it. So I hope that's the case. I also don't really want Kevin Feige to do it, to be honest.
I'd be okay
I don't hate
if
it.
he did it. I just
Yeah.
think it's a bit of like a lateral move. Maybe it would.
It's a safe move, I think.
I don't think going into Star Wars is necessarily a safe move, to be
Well,
completely honest.
I think it's a safe move for the Disney execs to be like, let's hire this guy who already has a great track record of running a studio.
Yeah, but the problem is that he's right now in the middle of everything going on at Marvel and trying to get that off the ground and like trying to make sure that like X-Men are put like into the MCU. So like I don't think it's gonna be him.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That'd be a lot on his plate.
I don't think that Dave Filoni should necessarily. Like I think
you don't think so?
No, because Dave Filoni doesn't have any experience with movies, really. I mean, his first interaction with live action anything was in The Mandalorian, and that's where he shot his first episode, and it was not the greatest one. And he got better in the second season, but like if we're talking about somebody that we know, and it's not somebody who's like just good at, being like doing their job, I would say put Jon Favreau in charge.
Well, I think that's why everyone's saying, like, there's a lot of people saying that it would be both of them, like Dave and John. And I think like in line with almost like DC Studios, I think that makes a lot of sense. You have James who understands, like, yes, he understands movie making, but he understands like the characters in DC, and he understands like the world and the universe he wants to make, right? And I think that's basically Dave Filoni. Like, he understands Star Wars, he understands the stories that he wants to make, the direction he wants to go in. Like, he has all of that lined up, right? And then you have Jon Favreau, who's like all on the movie making side, knows everything there is about making movies. And I think like pairing those two together as studio heads would be pretty magical. Hopefully.
Yeah, but the difference is that James has complete creative control, and then Peter is like on the side of like putting together like the production needs and having everybody on the same page. And
I think John would be that guy.
But I think John enjoys directing and enjoys creating the stories. Like,
and I think he would direct a few if he was a studio head. I don't think he would just be delegated like James Gunn is directing a few,
That's like a full, like, you need somebody who's like producing those movies, like,
sure,
all the time. So I don't know.
I think we are in the best hands.
Goes against my point a little bit with having John be the head, but I just think that like John being the head,
like, give him full creative control is what you want.
I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't think Dave Filoni should be in charge of like putting together movie sets and all that stuff. And
sure, but I think he can be in charge of how like Star Wars goes creatively and narratively. Like, I don't think that's a bad role for him. I mean, he's basically in a role similar to that now. Like, he's basically
So
like
just keep him in that role.
He's second to Kathleen Kennedy right now. So
just keep him there.
Yeah, and then do John as the head. I think that works. I just think like Dave, even though like he doesn't always do things like I want them to. I think like for the most part, like he understands like he has years and years of experience like creating and writing Star Wars stories. He was basically George Lucas's like mentee. I think we're in the best of hands with Dave, like in his vision. I could be wrong in that because he did put out Boba Fett, but like you can't hit them all.
Well, I would like to at least say that this marks what could potentially be a great creative new like dawn of like Star Wars
And we'll actually have a plan and not like 12 movies that are maybe in development, maybe not.
You know, it depends on who gets put in charge. But all I'm saying is now we have at least some hope that
a new hope.
We have a new hope that we will have movies that actually happen and come out. A fully ideal, a fully fleshed out idea. Thank you. Of where we're going, or at least new energy, new ideas.
Right.
Because I'm not somebody who hates everything about Kathleen Kennedy. I think she's had a lot of good things while she's been at Star Wars, but there's been so many mistakes. I mean, like we talk about how Marvel has the Blade situation, and Kathleen Kennedy's had like 13 Blade situations.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most notably right now it's the Rey one, who has gone through like 4 or 5 different writers.
Right.
So yeah, like what is happening where you guys can't lock down a story? You know, like I don't understand how
it's the same thing that happened with like Solo, where they had Lord and Miller, and then they start making the movie, and she's like, whoa, this isn't the movie that we agreed upon, and they're like, what the hell? And then they go get she gets Ron Howard, and he like makes that movie work as best he can,
which wasn't the best, you know.
I mean, it was fine. It wasn't like a terrible movie.
It was fine. I'll give you that. It was fine.
But all that being said, is that I want to say that, you know, this is overdue.
It is.
I'm surprised that it didn't happen earlier. I really thought it was going to happen like going back to like 2022. You know, I'm kind of surprised that it's happening now. 2022, 2023. I thought it was she was gonna, you know, get out, but
doesn't seem like she's gonna be fired or anything anytime soon. So
I mean, she's
getting the chance to retire.
I think she'll be gone, if not by the end of the year, but early next year. There'll be a creative exit strategy.
I'm gonna guess she's fully gone by the start of 2027. That's my guess, which feels too long, but it's enough for me. It's enough of a like, let's get this shit on track, you know?
Right. I mean, and like they have stuff in motion, so it's not like there'll be nothing going on, and there's already like some sort of an idea of like where they're going. But
for sure, yeah, Dave's got an idea, and he's making He's making his first movie, so we'll see how that goes, and maybe that's the test. Like, we'll see how that movie goes, and like if that works,
is he directing the Mandalorian movie?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
That makes me nervous that's like the first live action Star Wars movie that we're getting in forever is directed by him.
Yeah, that I feel ya. Oh, well, hold on. Jon Favreau is directing it.
Okay.
We're good. And it's written by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Okay.
So perfect duo. Perfect team right there.
Except when it comes to Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, but did Jon Favreau even worked on season 3? Like I don't see any I don't see anything in season 3 that I'm like, yeah, that was Jon Favreau. You know, like there's nothing. I don't know. To me, that's the Dave Filoni season, which is kind of rough in a sense. But
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But that is the end of our podcast. We thank you for sticking in with this long one here. We had a lot to talk about, but glad we got to talk about it with you. But as always, thank you for watching and supporting. And if you want to watch us in the future, we release weekly, and we release clips 3 times a week. If you want to follow us on any of our social medias or platforms, those links are in the description below. And if you want to give us a like, a rating, a comment, a review, or subscribe, that would be great.
And as always, until next time.